U.S. cities with the least amount of property crime in America versus most. You know that in the U.S., about 36% of property crimes aren't reported to the police, and of the ones that are, only around 18% actually get solved. Whether it's breaking into homes, theft, setting fires, or wrecking things, these crimes happen for different reasons. People might do it for money, to get back at someone, or just for the thrill. Larceny theft is the most common property crime in the U.S. In 2022, there were almost 4.7 million reports of it. But the good news is, property crime has been going down, dropping by 8.1% from 2019 to 2020. Today, we'll start by exploring the top 5 cities in the USA that wear the crown for being the least guilty of property crime. Then, we'll reveal the ones that have the highest property crime rates. Sit tight until the end because the number 1 spot is the one to really be aware of. So, without further delay, the cities with the lowest property crime percentage are number 5, Carmel, Indiana. When it comes to property crime, Carmel stands out with impressive statistics. With 821 recorded property crimes, translating to 808 incidents per 100,000 residents, Carmel's rate is significantly lower than the national average by a whopping 58.7%. That means Carmel is doing notably well in keeping its neighborhoods safe from property-related offenses. Comparing it to the broader picture, Carmel's daily property crime rate is 1.91 times lower than the Indiana average and an impressive 2.42 times lower than the national average. On an average day, the city experiences 2.43 crimes, with just 0.18 of them being violent incidents and the remaining 2.25 being property-related offenses. But what are the chances of experiencing property crime in Carmel? Surprisingly low, at just 1 in 124. That's a reassuring statistic for residents and visitors alike, highlighting Carmel's dedication to maintaining a safe and secure environment. However, it's essential to note that Carmel has seen a 23% increase in property crime year over year. Even though it is still below the average rate, this uptick really drives home the point that Carmel needs to stay vigilant in tackling property-related crimes in its community. Now, our next safe stop is number 4, Coral Springs, Florida. When put up against the latest standardized crime statistics reported to the FBI, Coral Springs made it to the top 5 U.S. cities with the least property crime. This may come as a surprise, considering Coral Springs is one of the fastest growing cities, with almost 150,000 residents. The reason for this growth is mainly because of its ideal location near the biggest cities in Florida. Coral Springs, found in southeastern Florida, sits about 20 miles northwest of Fort Lauderdale and is part of the Miami metropolitan area. Its crime rates are generally lower compared to other cities in the state. Coral Springs is known for its family atmosphere, thriving businesses, and advanced recreational facilities. Plus, it has some of the best public and private schools around. Being a bit over 60 years old, it's much like a small town, which might explain why property crime rates are lower here. Did you know Coral Springs ranked number 7 on the list of the safest cities in the U.S.? It was based on the overall crime rate and cost of crime. The city's police department is all about keeping residents safe through community policing efforts. They provide educational programs and outreach initiatives on crime prevention, personal safety, and emergency preparedness. These efforts give folks the tools and know-how to keep themselves safe and their neighborhoods secure. Residents really appreciate how visible and responsive the police are. In Coral Springs, crime rates are 48% lower than the national average. In 2022, there were 780 instances of property crime per 100,000 people, including burglary, larceny, theft, and motor vehicle theft offenses. Alright, let's check out a city with an even lower rate. Number 3, Port St. Lucie, Florida. Wow, Florida really is full of surprises, isn't it? Our number 3 spot holder also happens to be from the same state. Right in the middle of Florida's eastern shoreline, you'll find Port St. Lucie, the biggest city between Orlando and Miami. It's like the beating heart of the Treasure Coast, driving the economy forward. But it's not all business here. Port St. Lucie is famous for being all about communities. Port St. Lucie is the 6th largest city in Florida with nearly 240 residents. It's surrounded by some breathtaking scenery. Living here, it's like living in a picture-perfect postcard. Quality of life? Well, it's unbeatable. The city boasts numerous awards from the state police department. Among them is the Gang Unit of the Year Award 2021 2023. This award was for the innovative and creative use of resources to effectively combat gang activity, among other reasons. The city of Port St. Lucie has seen remarkable growth in recent years. This growth is driven by its strong economy, abundant recreational opportunities, and commitment to public safety. The latest property crime rate is 762 per 100,000, so your chance of being a victim is very slim. It's finally come down to the top 2 cities with the lowest property crime. Number 2, Elgin, Illinois. Though it may seem like smaller cities would have the lowest crime rate, it's not always true. Elgin City has a population of over 100,000 residents, making it one of the largest cities in Illinois. This city offers residents a relatively affordable cost of living compared to nearby urban areas like Chicago. It can be assumed that this makes people less likely to feel the need to commit crimes like theft or burglary. Elgin provides a balance of urban amenities and suburban tranquility, making it an attractive place to live and work. It has a total crime rate that is 59% lower than the national average. If we look at it through a day-to-day lens, it translates to 2.92 daily incidents, of which 2.33 are property crimes. When pitted against the national average, Elgin's property crime rate is lower by a whopping 62%. According to the FBI's latest data, there were 851 reported property crimes in 2022, equating to a rate of 752 incidents per 100,000 residents. The areas of Elgin that are densely populated do have more crimes than those with a lower population density. In Elgin, the ratio of police officers and civilians per 1,000 residents stands at 1.97 officers and civilians per 1,000 residents. When compared to the previous year, it's safe to say property crime has decreased by 40.5%. Finally, the city in the U.S. with the lowest property crime rate is number 1, Fishers, Indiana. Located in the northern part of the Indianapolis metropolitan area, Fishers offers easy access to downtown Indianapolis and nearby urban centers thanks to its many major highways. It's worth noting that Fishers is quite safe, safer than 87% of Indiana cities and 84% of cities in the United States. It's above average compared to all U.S. cities. So what are the odds of falling victim to property crime in Fishers? Just 1 in 134. When you check out the FBI's data, you'll see that in Fishers, the daily property crime rates are impressively low, 2.06 times below the state average and 2.61 times lower than the national figures. Fishers boasts a diverse economy with thriving sectors like technology, healthcare, finance, and manufacturing. It's a hub for corporate headquarters, business parks, and commercial centers, which fuel its economic success. Despite a 15.7% increase in property crime compared to the previous year, Fishers remains among the safest cities in the USA. With a population of over 90,000, Fishers is one of Indiana's fastest-growing cities. Over the past few decades, it has seen significant population growth and residential development, making it a prime destination for a high-quality lifestyle. Recent records show 750 property crimes per 100,000 residents, but Fishers' commitment to safety and its vibrant community make it an outstanding place to call home. Now, let's turn our attention to the top 3 cities with the highest property crime rates. These are the cities you might want to avoid if you're overly attached to your lawn flamingos and garden gnomes. Number 3, Memphis, Tennessee. When it comes to property crime rates, Memphis paints a rather concerning picture. With a staggering total of 44,783 property crimes reported, that's a whopping 7,166 incidents per 100,000 residents. In fact, in Memphis, it seems like every year, 1 in 14 people becomes a victim of property crime, quite high compared to the national average. Memphis is undeniably one of the hotspots for property-related offenses in the country. So, is it a safe place to call home? Well, looking at the bigger picture, the total crime rate in Memphis stands at a staggering 312% higher than the national average per 100,000 residents. This translates to a total of 164.14 daily crimes, including 41.45 violent daily crimes and 122.69 daily property crimes. Interestingly, Surprisingly, while violent crimes have decreased by 4.2% since the previous year, property crimes have surged by a significant 30.6%. Memphis is a city of diverse neighborhoods, each with its own unique characteristics and crime rates. Places near downtown or the city center usually have more crime because there are more people packed into those areas, but head out to the outskirts and you'll often find less crime, along with lower rates of unemployment and poverty. Number 2, St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis isn't just known for its iconic Gateway Arch. Unfortunately, it's also made headlines for its soaring property crime rates. A staggering 20,750 property crimes were recorded in the city, hitting a whopping 7,254 incidents per 100,000 residents. Now that's over double the national average. Yes, you heard that right, a whopping 271.2% higher. Let's break it down further. St. Louis isn't just a part of the pack when it comes to property crime, it's leading the pack. Tucked within the bottom 10% of U.S. cities reporting crime, it's clear the struggle against property crime is real. With odds like 1 in 14 of becoming a victim, it's not a game you want to play with fate. Now, about those car thefts, brace yourself. Last year alone, St. Louis saw a staggering 7,294 vehicles vanish into thin air. That's a mind-boggling 2,550 stolen cars per 100,000 people. When navigating the streets of St. Louis, the harsh reality is that you face a 1 in 40 chance of having your car stolen. So if you're driving through the city, keep those doors locked and your eyes peeled. Number 1, Tacoma, Washington State. Tacoma, the city of stunning views and, unfortunately, some not-so-stunning property crime rates. Brace yourself for the numbers. A whopping 18,704 property crimes were logged, hitting a jaw-dropping 8,540 incidents per 100,000 residents. That's not just above average, it's a whopping 336.9% higher than the U.S. average. The odds of becoming a victim of property crime in Tacoma are a chilling 1 in 12. That's right, 1 in 12. And when you crunch those numbers down to daily stats, there are 60.9 crimes a day, including 9.66 violent crimes and 51.24 property crimes. Year over year, property crime has even seen a 25% increase. In Tacoma, property crime rates are closely tied to socioeconomic factors like poverty, unemployment, and housing affordability. Despite a poverty rate slightly lower than the national average, income disparities and economic instability contribute to criminal activity. Limited job opportunities and high housing costs further aggravate the situation. Addressing these issues through community initiatives and economic development efforts could help create a safer environment for Tacoma residents. Before we conclude, it's worth noting that our list includes an analysis of about 300 cities with populations over 100,000 people. More importantly, it ranks cities solely based on property crime. And while it's often assumed that property crime and violent crime rates are directly proportional, this is not always the case. In fact, some cities with low property crime rates may have surprisingly high rates of violent crime, and vice versa. And this brings us to the end of our video today. We hope you enjoyed traveling to the cities with the highest and lowest property crime rates with us, and hope we'll see you around next time. Till then, be happy, be kind, and spread love. Goodbye.